So why do rich people have more PFAS, the toxic forever chemical, in their body versus poor people? I'm Beatrice, I'm the anti-plastic lady, so I'm going to tell you the reasons why, as well as why you should care about this regardless of how much money you have. So quick background, PFAS are known as the toxic forever chemical. There's over 10,000 different kinds. They're everywhere. They're in our water. They're in tons of our consumer products. And what's bad about PFAS is they build up with every tiny little bit that you ingest. And so the only safe level truly is 0. They're linked to lots of different types of cancer, brain cancer, kidney cancer, testicular cancer, all the cancers. So people started learning about PFAS about 10 years ago when there were these huge contamination sites. And most of those big PFAS contamination sites were in places of lower income, right? West Virginia, some rural parts of North Carolina. However, when researchers started looking at PFAS levels in people across the country, they started noticing a really weird pattern. They found that people of higher income tended to have higher amounts of PFAS in their body. And what's even weirder is that they found this pattern in Europe as well. It wasn't just the United States. And this is truly the opposite of every other case of toxic chemical contamination in the environment and our products. People in poor areas, they are usually more exposed to environmental pollutants, making them way more vulnerable to lots of health problems. However, now study after study after study shows that people of higher income have higher levels of PFAS in their body. Here's why you should care about this regardless of how much money you make. It's all about the products you buy. That's what it is, truly. So rich people were buying and ingesting and surrounding themselves with more products with PFAS than people of lower income, right? What's kind of cool about this is that regardless of where you live and regardless of how contaminated your water or whatever is, you actually have a lot of control over the amount of this toxic cancer-causing chemical in your body, right? So just with a little bit of knowledge, you can change your behavior and then avoid all of the very expensive medical bills that are in your future from PFAS pollution. Let's talk about some of the biggest PFAS contamination sources, okay? Number 1, seafood. All right. Rich people eat more seafood. Have you seen how much one of those 3-level seafood towers costs in New York or Las Vegas? It's a couple $100. Okay. And seafood is extremely contaminated with PFAS. Local and river fish is actually 280 times more contaminated with PFAS than ocean fish, but ocean fish is really, really bad. And that is because every drop of PFAS that has ever been produced has just been dumped and it has been left there. Right? So number 2, athletic clothes and outdoor products. I used to live in Silicon Valley and there was a uniform there. It was all of the little half zips from Patagonia, REI, North Face. It was looking like you were going hiking every day, even though you weren't. You were just in an office or working remote even. It turns out that so much of that outdoor athletic gear, all of those were designed to be weather resistant and stain resistant, but they used PFAS to achieve all of those extra benefits, right? PFAS make things non-stick. It was also outdoor and athletic gear, right? So ski wax is a massive contamination source. Number 3, stain-resistant textiles and furniture in your home. People of higher income tend to have lots of carpets, deck sealants, and tons of stain-resistant furniture, all of which is coated in PFAS. All of the PFAS from all that new furniture and home furnishings will leach off and get into the dust. And this leads me to number 4, which is household size. People of higher incomes tend to live with less people. So that means there's less people ingesting all of that PFAS dust. The good news about all of this is that so many states have banned PFAS from lots of our consumer products. So everyone's exposure level is now much lower, regardless of your income level.